Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and it's Micro Machine March. So today we're looking at the Rebel U-Wing. Now this thing's pretty cool. It was made famous in Rogue One, which is about to come out on DVD. Great Star Wars movie. I thought it was really cool. Now the U-Wing does have some offenses. It has the main guns in the front, and then these side doors on the bottom sides of the ship, they open up and there's a gunner there with a huge blaster. Now, what that reminded me of is in the Vietnam War, we had the helicopters. Same basic premise as this, that the side doors would open, troops would come out, and then you had a guy standing there with the big gun just blasting everybody away. And I think Rogue One did a great job with that. It reminded me a lot of Vietnam, Scarif looking like a jungle, whatever. It was pretty cool. A great idea and a great looking ship. Now, this was released in 2016 in the high-speed Rebel Raid, and it took me a long time to get this set, and it was worth it. I think it was an interesting shape. They did release the one with the closed wings, which I'll compare to in a couple minutes, but it was good, and I like that the wings are open. Very nice. So for the size, it's under 2¼ inches long, and it does have a nice mold and decent paint, so we have a lot to talk about, so let's get this review started. And here we have the mold of the Rebel UN. This thing is awesome. We have our little guns right here, the barrels I should say, and then a bunch of lines and panels. We got our cockpit, back section here, which is all molded very nicely. We have our S-foil hinges right here. Our engines looking like an X-Wing, very nice. The wings are done pretty damn well. Just an amazing job. For the bottom, we have our copyright crap, our peg port, and then tons more detail on the wings, the engines, the bottom. Just a great job. Little paint smudge there. We'll get to that. More copyright stuff there coming around. This is where the door would be that swings open and drop the troops, and the gunner pops out. Just an amazing job. Very detailed. Very cool. So having looked at the mold, let's take a look at the paint. Now, for looking at the paint, the main color here is an off-white. Now that's the color the plastic is molded in. But it looks pretty good. I like it. It does a job and it looks similar to the film enough. So I'll give it that. Next we have some dark gray. And that's for the back section here, as well as the engine exhaust parts. Then we have some yellow scattered throughout the ship. I don't think there's any on the bottom. No, but on the bottom we do have some blue around the engines. Blue on the engines here, on the wings. Hard to make out, but it is there. And then this nice stripe in the front. And last we have our black cockpit, which is painted pretty damn nice. And speaking of being painted nice, from the top, this ship looks amazing. The paint's nice and crisp and clean. We got our yellows and blues and blacks and whatnot. But then right here, we have a misstep, which I believe it is the dark gray paint. And it isn't a big problem. I can live with that. I just wanted to point that out. Mine's not exactly perfect, but from the top it looks pristine. So, having looked at the mold and paint, let's put this bad boy on a stand, compare it, and then we'll be done for today. Now, just like most Hasbro Micro Machines, they do not come with stands. Luckily, I have some extra. And you peg that port in like so. And you're good to go. For comparison, I have it next to the U-Wing with the closed S-foils. And believe it or not, they are not the same mold whatsoever. The first time I bought this, I thought, yeah, they probably kept the cockpit section and the engines the same and just made the wind section different in the computer. And they didn't. It's a fully different mold. The engines don't match. The cockpits are a little different. So, I don't know. It's very cool. I like them both. And also to compare, I have it next to an Imperial Lander, a First Order troop transport, and a Resistance troop transport. With this bad boy right here, I do not have the version that's normal and painted because and I don't really buy blind bags. The only ones I've ever bought was the ones I did for this channel. And also, I went on eBay. I looked at some links people sent me from the comments. And people want like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sometimes more dollars for this ship. So if I ever get some free cash and I'm going to blow on a little piece of plastic, I'll definitely buy the real version because I want it. But this thing is amazing. It does have a great amount of detail, and I don't mean to showcase it in a comparison, but it is worth a comment or two. It is pretty cool. So I will look at this ship, the real version, in a future episode. And you can't mention troop transports without the Republic gunship. One of Hasbro's best molds, in my opinion. We got the balls and whatever. Great looking ship. And that does it for my review today of the Star Wars Micro Machines U-Wing. Very nice ship. Now, this is the open win variant, and you could get this ship in the high-speed Rebel Raid set released in 2016. And it's pretty good. I would recommend it. It's a nice ship. The detail's good. The paint only has one issue. From the top, it looks perfect. From the back, it looks perfect. But in the front, right underneath this gun, like I mentioned, there was a big black splotch. But, you know what? I can live with it. It's not that big of a deal. Again, these are really small. But the paint is usually good on the Hasbro ones. And by that I mean it's not as good as the originals by Galoob. But when I do paint, it is nice and organized, and I do appreciate that. Now, like I mentioned, this ship is a little under 2¼ inches long, so it is a long ship, but that has a lot to do with the big winds coming out and extending backwards. But it's a great ship, and it goes well with Rebels, the original trilogy, or just different ships with the letters in them. X-Wings, U-Wings, Y-Wings, A-Wings, B-Wings, and all them, and I'm a huge fanboy for Rebel fighters from the original trilogy. Just awesome. And plus, I do like it because it is a support ship. It's much like a drop ship, a helicopter, and I like that. I always love the idea of a ship that comes out, drops the troops off, fires a bunch of missiles or rockets or lasers or whatever, and then drives away. But in Rogue One's case, this thing was circling, firing its guns. Really, really cool. And it could serve as a fighter as well. So it is a great ship. And that's basically all I have to say for today's review. Thank you very much for joining me. If you liked my review, please hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, it's Micro Machine March. So every day this March 2017, I'll be looking at a new vehicle or ship every single day up until the 31st. So if you like Micro Machines, join me tomorrow. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye, everybody.